And I would personally say that I think yoga particularly transcends religion. You don't have to be converted, and you don't have these same. There's no doctrine. There's no one text, one and only text. So like the Quran or like the Bible. And I think therefore, and when we look at the evolution of yoga over a very long time, it has continued to develop, to change, to evolve, and yoga has been informed by other traditions as well. When we look at, the Vedic tradition, the ascetic tradition. And so yoga is not just like, there's not one way of yoga. There's so many sub-traditions and paths. And really, Hindu is an umbrella term for many of these different traditions, whether it's a Shakta tradition, a Shaiva tradition, a Vaishnava tradition. And there's connections with Buddhism as well. Buddhism has heavily informed many yoga texts and teachings. And so I think it would be an oversimplification to say that yoga is religious, but it has been developed within a certain maybe religious and spiritual kind of context. And so it's not separate to religion, but it's not religion in itself. But I think that kind of conversation is a very nuanced one. But I think that if you come from any other religious background other than, one of the Hindu traditions, I absolutely think you can wholeheartedly walk the path of yoga and be certainly engaged in Ayurveda, because Ayurveda primarily is about tending to the mind and the body and having a lot of health and resilience and longevity. So I absolutely think that yoga kind of transcends religion. I hope that makes sense.
That's beautifully put. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective on that. Um, One other thing that you mentioned, early in our call is masters and gurus. Can you share the impact these masters and gurus have had in your life? And can you also share about your masters?
So I've had, of course, a number of different teachers, and then I have those who I would hold more in that regard as the guru, whether or not that's through my ODC studies or yoga studies. And I suppose in a very simple sense, I think the relationship with the guru and the teacher creates a humility that doesn't quite exist when you don't have that relationship. And the relationship to the guru is one that not only humbles us, but it teaches us great patience, because the greatest masters and gurus, they don't just like freely give out information whenever you ask for it or want it. It's like everything is fed very, very slowly, and for a very good reason, that you need to imbibe those teachings and techniques and work with them for an extended period of time before you're given anything else. And in the Western world, we're not used to that. We're used to being able to have whatever we want, whenever we want it. And so having the role of the guru and the teachers through the more traditional lens, I think, is, yes, it's very humbling. It teaches us great patience and surrender. And when I say surrender, I don't mean that we lose our autonomy or sovereignty. We don't hand over everything to the teacher. We still have to have self-responsibility for our actions and decisions and choices. But there is definitely some solace and refuge to be found in embracing that relationship with the guru and with the teacher. And of course, that can be concerning for people, because there are many teachers and gurus that have, what we say, have like fallen from grace, meaning that they may not have been who they proclaimed they were. They may not have been this great person. They might have, done things that are not so great. But at the same time, we can't throw out the teachings if we, choose not to stay with the teacher, right? The teachings are what is timeless and what is potent in giving us some transformation through, on our path through our studies. Yeah.
Thank you.